Welcome to yet another episode of Two Up Front. In the eternal words of Dr. Machel, Nenana Entlek Nitlo Fella Guy. My name is Jay. What up, Chuck Walipagania?
What's up, Jay?
What's up? How you doing?
As you know, my mantra boy in life, the lyrics are gas travel, but sung the timbers one a voice.
Well, Chuck, after the highs of the result against Mamelodi Sundowns, coming to the Derby with Chiefs not in the best of forms and riding high on the form of Saleng in particular and what Pirates have been doing. But then, obviously, the result down to that wonder goal from Yusuf Mart. Chiefs come out with the victory in the Derby, fourth victory in a row in the Derby. What did you make of the game? And is Magneto Paul alive and well?
First and foremost, that goal was superb, was spectacular, but it overshadowed the fact that referee got that decision wrong. Like,
was it a foul?
It was a clear foul. He was bundled. There was no attempt to win the ball. He was shoved, sandwiched in between two players, right in front of the ref. So for me, that... And I mean, this is why it's kind of we need VAR, because when these decisions lead directly to a goal, they really do define the game and how it ends. Nah? But Chiefs with the better side. I can't concede that. Because in Kaizer is that as much as Chiefs threw what they threw at us, we had an answer in Mbonjan. Move. You know, as much as you want to say Utu should have put those chances away, but Mbonjan move, and he was doing his job up until that one key moment where the referee, according to me, got it wrong. But two standouts. Tactically, in South African football, for me at least, when I'm watching, I never see offensive plans being put to work. I see defensive plans, and they do hold teams off or mitigate teams off. But Chiefs had a plan in offense and in defense. In defense, to double up on Usaleng, who's one player who likes to run with the ball, because he doesn't play the ball quickly. He likes to run down the flank, and just like he did in Utlanta, you're like, okay, there's a chance. But when Blom stepped up and doubled up and helping Utlanta on the flank, that threat was put out. Then you have Erasmus, who's isolated, who doesn't do much, then Marai won, and then you sort of figure that out. But what they did well is then, when they were then going on the attack, they released the ball very early, which played into the advantage of the Chiefs, because they've got Dupree up front, who's very quick. Like, when the ball goes through, like, I wonder they're not catching the ball. And as you saw that in like a space of 3 minutes, where it happened about twice.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of them applying a plan in terms of how to beat Pirates, because as we had spoken for a couple of weeks back, Pirates back three are solid. They don't go anywhere. They're not too adventurous, but Bavalil. What they don't have though, especially because Maukuma Utumaela was also gone, they didn't see out the game. Speed is a factor that will definitely hurt a lot of teams. So I think with Mart, Dupree, players who are just brought into the team, they've got their new maybe golden boys. And I know it's a bit too early, but for me, if you're going to play that well in a game of high stakes, because everyone says it doesn't matter what form goes out the window. This is the game that defines you as a player. The pressure, the fans and the crowd on your back. How do you perform in those tight areas? So for me, if Mart and Blom could perform very well, for me that's a positive sign. For me, I was happy to see, as much as he is an opposition player, I was happy to see Uplom have a good game again, because I remember when I first saw Uplom, it was in Sabo Tumsane Zuma, Sabo Ngo, and these guys were the three young guys who were supposed to be the torchbearers of the Chiefs to lead the light. And then after a while, when I was like, this boy is good, he just fell off. Nick came Tambang, I said to him, and I was like, what happened to this player? So I think him putting out this kind of performance in this particular game is solid. And so congrats to Chiefs, but Sorochu.
That's your conclusion after all of that.
Because it directly led to us conceding the goal.
True. I think on the balance of play, I would say that the result is the fair one, but it does leave a sour taste in the mouth because of how it happened. You would have wanted to see Dupree finish those chances that he had against Pirates, and when Ponchani came out trumps. It was funny because the goal did stand. It was yet another occasion where you have a Pirates keeper who's backpedaling and who is, for his dear life, flying through the air, trying for a shot from halfway not to go into the net. We saw Hlampo Kekana do that to Sandilands, who was never the same after that.
No, so ruined him.
We'll see with Mponchan, maybe the fact that it wasn't even supposed to be a goal, but there it is. So starting with Pirates, Chuck, I was disappointed with what I saw from Orlando Pirates because, yes, this game plan won against Mamelodi Sundowns, but the thing is, styles make fights, and it does not necessarily mean that if you came out trumps against a particular opponent, it's just going to happen with another opponent who has seen you, who knows how you want to play, who has prepared for you, and who you yourself as well has seen, and perhaps might have thought, how do we mitigate what they're doing? I don't think, for example, Pirates would have expected the machine to be playing and the way that Ngobo plays, where he's usually a 10. He wasn't even deployed as just a 10. He was going between the lines. He was dropping deeper. He was part of the build-up play, and that caused confusion amongst the Pirates defense, not just from the defenders, but just like overall when they were out of possession. And I wanted to see something more from Orlando Pirates. Like, the game plan was, if you get it, give it to Saleng.
The whole time.
We know this at this point, and you know that every single person now who plays against you is going to, first and foremost, let's not allow for Saleng to beat us. So as you so wonderfully described, that every single time he got the ball, they doubled him. Shanti was in trouble early in that game.
Early on, yeah, you're like, okay, go and hurt him, but then they covered. And
he even picked up a yellow card early. So if you were a Chiefs fan, you were scared about how that's gonna go. Is he gonna be going down and ultimately out of the game with a red card? But then Blom was in that match for that, and I want to commend Arthur Zwani for that. And this is the message I keep wanting to bring across to Chiefs fans in terms of being patient with Arthur Zwani, because Chiefs have been looking for a defensive mid, and he's tried Usitebe there, he's tried Yusuf Mart there, and now you have Blom, and Blom was able and he was capable in this match. We'll see what it looks like going forward, but then, if you know, as the onlookers, that Kaizer Chiefs need a defensive mid, Arthur Zwani knows the same thing, which is why he keeps chopping and changing in that position. And perhaps he's found a guy who he can settle on now. So that was encouraging for me to see. Also, with regards to that front three, Kama Pilet is not scoring goals right now. He hasn't scored a goal.
Kama's fallen off a lot, like, for me.
I don't know, Chuck. I think you know what? I think if you're looking for him to be a prolific goal scorer, I think you're miscasting him as anyone who's looking for that from him. I was thinking about this when I was watching, like, Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus was man of the match in that game against Nottingham Forest. Provided 2 assists, did not score a goal, took a lot of shots in the box, but did not score a goal. He's been struggling for goals as well. But one of the ways, like Odegaard's goal, for example, he backs up against the defender and he provides the assist. There was an opportunity where Kaizer Chiefs had, where you did see Billiard, where he's backing up his defender and he gives the short pass for his teammate to run onto it and to give the shot. And that's the other thing, right? Whereby Kaizer Chiefs don't have goals. They went out and signed a striker. Caleb is top of the goal scoring charts. He was out in that match. He's out for now. And this is also an answer that Arthur Zwani and his team went and they found. That's not his fault now that there is no one backing up Caleb in terms of a someone who can give you as many goals, because one, there aren't those guys in South African football. Those guys are hard to find. Also, he's not necessarily the one who's going out there making these signings. He's a new coach, lest we forget. And there are other people who are involved in the decision making, so that's not on him if Chiefs are not scoring. Also, if his system is enabling Dupré to go in one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he's not got his finishing boots on, how's that the coach's fault as well? You know, so I was encouraged by what I saw from Kaizer Chiefs, and they very much outplayed Pirates. The other instance in terms of what I saw tactically is the fact that I was praising the previous week Orlando Pirates' vertical game. This week, though, that's all they have. There is no short passing game, Chuck. And you could see the Chiefs players, they were keying in on that. Like, the amount of, I'd love to get the stats on this. Maybe Opta Joe might help us with this. The amount of times the Chiefs players intercepted passes because they were telegraphed. Like, you knew that there's not going to be a triangle that is happening here, which might confuse you in terms of which direction you go. It's going in one particular direction, and they could sit there all day and jump those lines and intercept that ball, and then they've turned it over, and now Pirates are up against it once again. And the fact that the Pirates coach did not adjust to any of that at any point it begs the question. So if another team comes in, if this is the blueprint of how you play against Orlando Pirates, if another team comes in and they do exactly this, what's your answer now?